Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. Coming up here on today's show, we're going to be talking about the latest news around Deshaun Watson and how it could potentially impact the Las Vegas Raiders. So, I've been getting asked a ton. Mitch, should Las Vegas go out and try to get Deshaun Watson? It's been a topic that I've talked about on numerous occasions. Before I start talking about Watson, let me make one thing clear. I love DC. DC is my guy. However, if you can upgrade at quarterback, you have to do it in the National Football League. Now, the reason why we're talking about Deshaun Watson is because he's got no criminal charges coming against him. The grand jury declined to indict Watson on Friday, and the Harris County prosecutor concludes no criminal charges, nothing. Watson ended up tweeting out as well that when you stand on the truth, the Lord will set you free. He does have a few civil cases to go, but there's multiple reports now that the trade market is going to start heating up around Deshaun, and it should. I mean, when he's on the field, you can make an argument that he's a top 5 quarterback. He can run, he can pass, he can do a lot of different things, and I understand that he did not play in 2021. But you know what? In 2022, he had 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He had 421 rushing yards, led the NFL with 4,800 passing yards. That was in only 16 games. And I know a lot of people like to bring up the fact of, Deshaun Watson hasn't dealt with a lot of stuff that DC has dealt with. To be honest with you, I think the Houston Texans are a worse-run franchise than what the Las Vegas Raiders are. So here's my question to everyone down in the comments, and you can put Raiders, or you can actually go ahead and put any NFL team, because there's going to be people out there that are like, the Raiders aren't going to trade for him. Cool. All good. What do you think, though? This is going to be the pinned comment on today's video. So when you're getting hit with that YouTube ad break, I want you to scroll on down and let me know who trades for Deshaun Watson. Now, Adam Schefter went ahead and tweeted this out. The trade market for Deshaun Watson now is expected to ramp up quickly. Houston will be opening to moving him, and multiple teams are expected to be interested, per league source. So this came out literally right after everything going on with Deshaun Watson. And the reason why so many people are going to be interested is because he's young. His deal realistically at like $34 million a year over the next 4 years. I'd rather pay Deshaun Watson $34 million than Derek Carr $34 million. I know that for a fact. So his stats in 2020, 70.2% completion percentage, 4,823 yards. That led the National Football League. 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, a QBR of 70.5 on a roster that I would argue was much worse than what Derek Carr has dealt with over the past 2 seasons. His 2020 rushing stats, 90 carries, 444 yards, 3 touchdowns. He was also able to pick up 31 first downs with his legs. Watson gives you a whole nother ability that a lot of other teams are going to be craving. And if you're the Raiders, no disrespect to DC, but you know that Derek's going to be the 4th best quarterback in your division. If you go out and get Deshaun Watson, I think you have an argument now he's the 2nd best. There's going to be people that argue Wilson, but I would still put Watson. If I was building a team, I would have Patrick Mahomes 1, Deshaun Watson at 2, Russell Wilson at 3, and then Justin Herbert at 4. With the amount of holes that the Raiders have, if you want to go ahead and pay a quarterback $34 million a year, I'm going to rather pay Watson $34 than DC. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but we are also on Rumble. And if you want more free and uncensored content, sports, news, politics, all the techie stuff, the business, then follow us on Rumble right now. The link is below. It's also going to be in the description of today's video. It's rumble.com/Raiders Report. If you appreciate the content we provide, if you want me to provide more Raiders content going on in the future, then you got to go ahead and give us a follow at that link below. Rumble.com/Raiders Report. Let's go to this tweet here from Sarah Barshop. Did I get that right? I don't know. In a statement on Deshaun Watson, NFL spokesperson Brian McCarthy said the league has been closely monitoring all developments in the matter, which remains under review of the personal conduct policy. So that came out today, March 11th at 5:01 p.m. Eastern Time. And when you talk about Deshaun Watson, I know there's going to be a lot of people out there, well, why are we even talking about this? The only reason, and I mean the only reason why I'm talking about this is because the Indianapolis Colts, okay, have said multiple times that they are looking for a quarterback. They traded away Carson Wentz. He's now with the Commanders. If Indianapolis is to to go all in on Derek Carr, and I get it. They don't have a first-round pick this year, but if the Indianapolis Colts throw a first-round pick next year, they want to throw their 2024 first-round pick. They also throw in a few extra picks here. The Raiders have extra picks, then they can go ahead and ship that off to Houston. That puts this team in a better position to win football games, and I will miss DC, no doubt about it. And I know he said, oh, he's only going to play for the Raiders. I'm willing to call his bluff on that, because if that means you can get Deshaun, you get a top 5 quarterback, you have to go ahead and do it. So here you go. Let me know down in the comments section. Type Y for yes, or I want you to go ahead and type your N for no. Should the Raiders go out and trade for Deshaun Watson? Personally, I say yes, because I know that Watson wants out of Houston. I understand that he has a no-trade clause, but Indianapolis isn't going to be able to trade for Watson because they're in the same division. Maybe Houston's dumb enough to trade him inside the division. I don't see that happening. But I also know that if Watson doesn't want to play there, you can also potentially get him at a discount. If Russell Wilson went for 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and 3 players, if you're telling me right now, if Houston was like, all right, we don't really want the players, we want more draft capital, cool. You trade Derek Carr to the Indianapolis Colts for, let's say, their second-round pick, their first-round pick this year, and maybe they throw in an extra pick. Then for Las Vegas, you're able to toss in your first-round pick, the first-round pick that Indianapolis gave you, a few extra picks, and it ends up landing you Watson. I'm all in, man. If as long as he's going to be out there on the field in 2022, you have a very good quarterback for the next 4 years at $34 million, which, as far as I'm concerned, is pretty reasonable. I'd rather pay him $34 million. And then you have somebody who's under 26 years old, probably going to be your franchise quarterback for, let's say, 10 to 12 years from now, which, with the AFC West, that's what I want. So with the fact that, again, no criminal charges here coming for Deshaun Watson, and there's still some other things that are going to end up, happening. There's going to be probably more news and rumors that end up coming. But Watson, as it stands right now, is a free man. And this is something from Field Yates, which I actually have a graphic that shows this a little bit better, but it's okay. We'll break this down from Field. It says Deshaun Watson's contract would be as such for a team acquiring him in a trade. It'd be a $35 million salary in 2022. It would be a $35 million cap hit. So essentially, I think this is actually a little bit confusing. So this is what it is. It's $35 million this year. It's $37 million next year, and $32 million, and then $32 million the year after that, which comes out to 4 years, $136 million, which is an average of $34 million a year for Deshaun Watson. That's good value for a quarterback of his stature. So if you guys want to stay in the know with everything going on around the silver and black, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you turn on those notifications, because if the Raiders do pull off a big trade, if there's a big-time signing, if something else happens, we're going to do our best here to keep you guys up to date. So make sure you don't miss anything. Hit that subscribe button, because if you do miss a trade, I'm going to go ahead and say shame on you.